happy to have so many participants and also raise funds for important causes. Throughout all these events that we have done, we have donated 100% of all ticket sales, and it's very rewarding to see how many different causes are benefiting from this effort, and also they have a voice to communicate the story that makes them so unique. Regarding the wines, before I say a few things about the wines, I also wanted to say that pairing wine with food, it's a magical experience. It's 1 + 1 = 3. Sometimes you don't like a dish, sometimes you don't like a wine, but you put them together and you discover a new flavor. You discover something that you never thought will complement each other so well that you fall in love with, no? And wine has the power of doing that. I oftentimes refer to wine as a liquid ingredient. We always think of pepper and salt and herbs as instruments or ingredients that we use in our cuisine to add flavor or complement our food. Oftentimes we don't think in terms of wine in those same terms, but wine is just another ingredient that is capable of amplifying flavor, of complementing specific dishes, and discovering the art of pairing is such a rewarding, such a rewarding experience. So that's, one of the things that we really enjoy doing, and that's how we have fun in the kitchen. And we want to help people discover how they can have fun with the artisanal wines that we import. So now I'll say a few things about the wines that we're going to be tasting today and pairing with the Tortilla de Patatas. And I encourage everyone to play with the wines and think about how the wines go with the tortilla. And at the end, we can all share our experience on, which is your favorite pairing, why do you like this wine better than the other? But the most important thing is for you to play and try the wine, then you try the dish, and then you see, which you think complements better the dish. So we have 3 wines. One is Columna Albariño. This is a wine from coastal, it's a coastal wine in the northwest of Spain. And this area, very close to Portugal, very close to the Atlantic Ocean, it's a wine that goes extremely well with everything coastal. Typically, coastal wines pair well with seafood, with things that have a little bit of salt. In this case, Albariño, it's a fun fact, it's the most well-known grape in Spain, white grape. And it has this zesty, fresh quality. It has a little bit of salinity because the vineyards are so close to the ocean. And it goes really well with seafood and light dishes that have a little bit of creaminess and have a little bit of saltiness. In this case, Columna Albariño, for those of you that love Sauvignon Blanc, that like Sancerre, Pinot Grillo, this is a perfect, grape for those of you who like that style of wine. Very fresh, bright, zesty. That's Albariño. It's my favorite white grape from Spain, and I think you guys will enjoy it. You can smell it. You can taste some of that ocean, fresh, vibrant salinity. Very nice. It has a little bit of citrus also. So that's Columna. The next wine we're going to have is a rosé. It's a Zestos. This is produced in one of the highest elevation territories of Spain, almost 3,000 feet elevation. This is near the city of Madrid, which is known for making really good Grenache. In Spain, we call it garnacha. For those of you familiar with Provence-style rosés, This moves in that direction, except it's a little bit bolder in flavor. We're in Spain, it's a little bit more south, and rosés in this area are a little bit bolder and pair really well with dishes that have more flavor, that have a little bit of garlic, a little bit of olives, and things of that nature. It's a little bit herbal as well, so it pairs really well with dishes that have herbs and, you know, bolder flavors like garlic. And it's a lovely rosé. It has a little bit more weight. I think you guys will really enjoy it. And lastly, we have a wine from the most well-known wine region of Spain, Rioja. And Rioja is famous for making these beautiful, silky, spicy, earthy red wines. For those of you that like Burgundy and Cabernet, you know, oftentimes that spice you can find in Rioja. Obviously, Burgundy and Cabernet or Bordeaux are very different in style, but Rioja appeals to drinkers that like, you know, spice in their wines. This is aged for 36 months in American and French oak barrels. That's a very common way of aging wine in Rioja. And what I love about Rioja is that because of the aging process, the wines, the tannins, which is this dry component that red wine has, those tannins become extremely soft with time. And you can find these silky tannins, which make the wines really soft. And they have this, you know, beautiful, spice, which I find extremely interesting, especially when you pair it with dishes that have paprika. So those are the three wines, very different. We have a red, we have a rosé, we have a white. All of them are unique. One is more spice driven, which is the Rioja, the red wine. The rosé, it's a little bit herbal and highlights maybe some of the onions in the tortilla. And then we have the Albariño, which is very bright and zesty, which will
Patrick,
highlight.
We've got poll results to share. We've got, thanks everybody for telling us what you're drinking. I'm going to show that on the screen right now so we actually know what you're drinking. And with that, we're going to talk more in depth about the wines in a little bit, but I really want to make sure we introduce two incredible guests, Cheryl Day and Lisa Donovan, who are co-founders of Southern Restaurants for Racial Justice, which is the organization that benefits this evening from your ticket. And some of you have been so generous to offer additional donations, so we thank you. So Cheryl and Lisa, if you can tell us about the work that your organization is doing and how you got connected with Katie and Felix, then we'll move into the food demonstration part, and then we'll come back and talk about wine and keep checking in with everybody to see how everyone's dishes are going if they're making food at home too.
Great. Well, I think first, can you hear me okay? I've been having trouble with my mic. You hear me okay?
Great.
Okay, great. Thank you to Felix and Katie and everyone at Cúrate for, first of all, being such ardent supporters in general in life. And also, you know, when we started this thing, you know, we've been kind of trying to figure it out as we go. And they've been really instrumental to helping us, build this thing. So thank you to Katie and Felix, especially for getting us involved with this great company, and everyone at Ole and Obrigado. Thank you for putting together such an incredible opportunity for grassroots organizations to kind of find a little bit of a wider audience and expand our platform as we're growing. So we're just coming up on about a year of being a nonprofit organization, and we are now officially a sort of subsidiary and arm of the Lee Initiative, and they've really been sort of helping us expand our platform. But basically, you know, we started, we kind of came together. We have an incredible network of chefs in the South, East, and so we felt Cheryl and Sarah O'Brien and Annie Quatrano and myself felt like that was an opportunity for us to sort of figure out how we could get behind a lot of Black-owned restaurants in the South specifically, and really help them not only get through this incredibly hard time of the quarantine, but also just to build something that could financially protect and preserve the legacy of Black restaurants in the South. And now we're able to start doing things a little bit more on a national scale as well. So just very quickly, basically, you know, we've done everything from raise money through bake sales and donated almost $100,000 last summer to Color of Change, which is an incredibly important national organization that is a resource for very many aspects. You should definitely look Color of Change up and sort of dig into sort of their very many facets of resources and education. And they are a national organization that we were very proud that we could help support. And then some smaller, more regional dedicated bake sales that were able to raise money so that we could do things like start emergency grant relief. We were able to, when Jones Barbecue burned down a few months ago, we were able to cut them a $25,000 check, and that we are, you know, able to help. Yeah, we felt great. You know, so often, you know, in the past when we have had pitmasters have these fires, we've all just sort of had to show up and muscle our way through and not had the resources to sort of offer these kinds of financial gifts to help them rebuild, and they are well on their way to rebuilding. They're nearly finished with our help and a GoFundMe and a couple of other organizations that were able to write some very fast checks very quickly. We are launching our first grant initiative. It's actually open now for national Black-owned restaurants and food businesses in general, and that includes caterers and makers and producers to apply for a $14,000 immediate grant through a lot of the national fundraising we're able to do. So this is helping us basically just serve as a way to get behind a lot of restaurants that do not have resources as readily available to them as a lot of restaurant groups have. We all saw sort of, how difficult it was for those really small, family-owned restaurants to kind of find that space whenever all of the government money was being doled out. And so this is just a really grassroots way that we've been able to help with purely financial aid. And we're hoping that we can grow, and these kinds of fundraisers are going to help us grow in a way where we can all of a sudden now think about how we can be educational resources and really serve beyond just writing those checks, which is always great. It feels really great to do that, but now we're able to have some bigger conversations about how we can be a broader resource. So Cheryl, is there anything you want to add?
Yeah, I was just going to say that thank you all, and thank you for just thinking of letting us continue to tell these stories in the Black community through food. Jones Barbecue that Lisa mentioned, I believe, is the oldest Black-owned restaurant. Is that correct, Lisa? In the country. So, I mean, that was huge to be able to give them, some relief when that fire just kind of took them down. But I just want everyone to know, obviously people here love food and you like to learn about new cultures, but I just wanted to invite everyone to think about when we get beyond, when we can go out more, to think about maybe getting a group of friends together and stepping out of your comfort zone and maybe venturing into one of these Black-owned restaurants that you're going to be donating to. So that you can learn more about, their stories and the culture. And I just think that type of diversity is one of the key things that's going to really bring our country together as a whole, just learning about other cultures. So thank you.
Thank you guys very much for having us here and doing this.
Thank you both so much. We're just so happy that you're here and so grateful to be able to do our small part with the work, and I know that everyone here is too. And we still have that QR code up on the screen. If you know what QR codes are, you know that you can actually hold your phone's camera right up to it, and you'll get right to a link where you can donate to this work. And Laura just put the link in the chat box as well, and we'll be reminding you of it probably a couple more times throughout the evening. So thank you both so much. Food bringing us together, and food is certainly one of the reasons why we're here tonight. I just want to take a minute and introduce Katie Button and Felix Meana from Cúrate in Asheville, one of my favorite restaurants. I live in Chicago, and whenever I'm in that part of the world, I make sure I go. And then we also have Jessica Salyer on tonight, who is running the wine program and works closely with Felix, and she's going to be weighing in on some of the wines as well. So what we want to do is show you how to make tortilla de patatas. And if you are having a shifting view on your screen, just put it in gallery view. We're going to spotlight Katie and Felix cam in just a second, so you can get a close-up look as necessary. But we're going to dive right in to the food demonstration, and then let's hear more about Cúrate, how you started your first tortilla de patatas. We have so many questions, and I'm sure everyone in the audience does too. So please keep them coming. Even if it's a technical question, we'll make sure that those get transmitted. And thank you. Thanks for being here. It's so good to see you guys again.
Hi, Erin.
Hi.
Thank you. It's good to see you guys too. We're very excited to be here and to be cooking tortilla de patatas. I'm just going to start diving into the cooking so that we can get started, because there are going to be lots of pauses for talking. The first thing that I do is crack the eggs in the bowl. So I'm gonna put 10 eggs in the bowl. Actually, I'm gonna make Felix do that. You do that.
Yeah,
You do that. You crack the eggs. So while Felix is cracking the eggs back there, I'm gonna cut the onion and the potatoes. I found out very soon after going to Spain that whether or not you put onion in your tortilla de patatas is like super controversial. I mean, get ready for a fight and an argument. I am very pro onion. I mean, I would put onion and garlic in just about anything. So, you know, I don't know. I don't quite, I'm going to just say it. I don't understand those potato only people. So
I was told without onion is only for children.
Right?
Unfortunately, by my Spanish family.
I mean, yeah, you can say that. There are lots of adults who are very serious about that. Anyway, I'm gonna take my onion, cut it in half, cut the ends off, cut it down the middle, peel the outside. The first person who taught me how to make tortilla de patatas was Felix's mom. She was an amazing cook, and she made an incredible tortilla. Of course, when I was trying to learn it, she was doing that thing like, you know, she wasn't measuring anything, and I was like frantically trying to write down what the heck she was doing so I would remember.
So one thing I have to say is that Katie already mentioned tortilla de patatas, but it's also known as tortilla española.
Yes.
So how many dishes you know from Spain that has the word of Spain in the dish? So that says a lot already.
It's true. You know what you didn't do is whisk the eggs.
Oh, you mean to do that?
Yeah,
too? Okay.
of course.
Okay, well, you do that.
Okay.
Actually, you do better with a fork, but okay, give me this.
I did. I gave you the whisk. Okay, onion. Great. On the cutting board, you guys can see that. So I slice it this way. I'm not that person who, you know, slices at lightning speed. I do okay, but that's okay. All right. How fast can you tortilla? Oh, I'm gonna get my oil going. I have a pot here, like a large pan with some high oil in it that I'm gonna fry my potatoes in batches. It's a blend of olive oil and like a high heat some grapeseed oil, just because I want it to be able to get hot so I can brown my potatoes.
That's good.
My way.
So that's a good note. Is it about a 50-50 split between the
Yes.
olive oil and the light? Okay, cool.
Yes.
I'm gonna run a poll really quick to see who's made the tortilla in advance, because we're curious to find out. So while you're chopping, I'm gonna put that up on the screen. 1 sec.
Okay, great. And olive oil. my nonstick pan right here. Hold on, wait. I get the pulse too, and then I
You gotta
get this.
close
I'm
it.
just gonna do that. Yes, I've dined at Cúrate. Boom. Okay. So I'm gonna put some of the olive oil in my nonstick pan. Just because this is the pan I'm gonna cook the tortilla in, not because I need to use it for the onions. I've never cooked tortilla in a pan other than a nonstick. I mean, I guess you could try it, but I'm not willing to face the potential failure that could ensue. And then I'm just gonna throw my onions in there. That way I'm kind of using it for that, since I'm gonna fry my potatoes in a separate pan. It's just a trick for speed. Large pinch of salt. And Felix, you get to monitor the onions.
The onion. Okay.
Yours.
Awesome.
All right.
I think this is one of the first times that you're allowing me to cook with you.
I'm just having fun
Sometimes
bossing you around.
Yeah.
Well, we
So
have
I
about
have to say that-
50% of the audience made tortilla today.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yes,
Good job,
yes.
everybody.
Oh, Katie, I have a question for you. What are your favorite potatoes to use?
I use yellow potatoes, you know, like a Yukon Gold or something. I just like them. I like their texture better. I don't know. I mean, also that's partly because there aren't that many potato choices in the grocery stores around here. So it's like we've like decided that there are only 4 potatoes that exist in the world. Sweet Idaho, Yukon, and new potatoes.
They're
So
slightly
one of the
different.
things I want to add about the tortilla de patatas, again, we talk about the Spanish mention in the dish, but is that for me, the tortilla is like along the paella, probably the most international dish outside of Spain. And it's something that we actually cook a lot in the house. Our kids love it. We cook a lot of paella too, but the tortilla, you know, is like I don't know, it's a little bit easier, and it's something that you can eat, you know, like the next morning, the next day for dinner, like you can take it out for a hike, in a sandwich, you know, like the flexibility that gives you to make tortillas, you know, make it a little bit more fun and more like a durable, you know, like through the week. The paella, you know, you have to eat it, you know what I mean, like right at the moment, you know, and doesn't hold that better.
Okay, I've got about 2 to 3 pounds of potatoes, which is 3 to 4 kind of large-ish yellow potatoes. I'm only going to do 2 of them just to demonstrate the browning of them and what to do. But I would slice them all and do this to all of them because I have kind of a batch ready. When you get your potatoes, you can do this on a mandolin. It makes it a lot easier if you have a mandolin. You just want to like run them on the mandolin, slice them thin. I'm just going to use my knife to show you an alternate. Make sure the onions don't brown.
Yeah, I know they're perfect. Yeah, they're perfect. Don't touch my fire.
I turned it down on you. That's right. I also wanted to say while I'm slicing these potatoes, they're looking good. Slice the potatoes thin. I don't know if you can see that. That's thin. Okay, I'm looking at the wrong camera. Then.
So far I have a winner, you know, because I'm you know, dealing with the onion right here, and the first one that comes to my mind is the rosé. You know, it's like you know, the fruit that comes from the wine. You know what I mean? It's bringing it directly to the onion.
So I would love to hear from both Patrick and Jessica about your thoughts on the rosé pairing. If you wanna chime in. Do you agree with Felix?
Yeah. So I think, well, first of all, I have to say that Patrick did an amazing job. You know, like I didn't have the opportunity to try the wines with the tortilla until now. So I've been tasting the wines, you know, beforehand, and I can't wait to taste them when the tortilla is done to see which one is gonna win. But I think Patrick did he had a really good. He thought about it, you know, and he had a pool of wines, you know what I mean, and he was trying to figure out which one is gonna work with the tortilla, and I think the 3 that he picked are really, really, really big candidates. You know, I think any of them, you know, can really, really be a good pairing for the tortilla. But the rosé, I think, you know what I mean, is that fruitiness that I was saying, the camp, you know, with it and the freshness, it goes straight with the onion that I've been smelling right now. And I think it will be, so far, it will be one of the best candidates.
The oil is hot. I'm interrupting Felix. Woo! Not gonna throw my potatoes in the oil, but oil's hot, so I'm gonna drop them in. I do this in batches. I don't do all of the potatoes at once, and I have quite a bit of oil in here. I mean, there was at least a full inch of oil in the pan. Because I am trying to fry them, you know, not poach them. So let's see.
One question we had was about the quantity of oil. It's so much oil to make tortilla de patatas. Do you strain it and save it for another round after?
Yes. Yes,
Awesome.
because you've only fried potatoes in it. So I just strain it with a fine mesh strainer and then save it in a little, like, you know, heat-proof casserole dish with like a spout, you know, one of those measuring cups with a spout. And I save it there and I use it throughout, you know, the weeks in my cooking.
That's a relief.
Yeah,
I know
do not throw it out.
I know Patrick's getting up and making his tortilla right now. So Felix, we heard your thoughts about the rosé. There's a couple questions. So someone asked about the use of the mandolin, and I know you just recommended using a mandolin if you have one. Otherwise, the thickness is about 1/8 of an inch thin. Yeah. Right?
That's right.
And then someone asked, are you breaking up the potato slices as you drop them in the oil, or are you keeping them whole?
I am breaking them up. So I was like kind of separating them as I put them in the oil so they don't all stick together in a big clump.
Cool. I would love to hear from Jessica about the rosé pairing. I know we keep teasing you in, so let's introduce you. Let's introduce you and hear what you think.
Yeah, hello. I actually think the rosé might be the winner for the pairing. Personally, we will see. Maybe the Crianza will come up and creep in, but I do think that this rosé has a nice little bit of body on it, enough to pair with the onions and the egg. It's not, you know, it's not that super, you know, light Provence style rosé. It does have a little bit of body to it, and I think the fruit is going to pair very well with it.
I agree with Jess. I think that full bodyiness that comes with the rosé is gonna be also pairing very well with the creaminess the tortilla brings to the table. So I agree.
Yeah, I
Very
think
cool.
everyone probably has I would like to hear what people are thinking. If people are trying the tortilla already, I don't know if some of you cook the tortilla ahead of time, but the best way to discover if something pairs well with a dish is first you try the tortilla or whichever food item you're trying to pair. You try it, and then you have the wine. And then you see if the wine amplifies the flavors in the tortilla or they complement the flavors of the tortilla. Sometimes the best pairing is a pairing of contrast. For example, if you do blue cheese with sweet wine, those are opposites, right? Blue cheese is salty, sweet wine is sweet, and it's a contrast, but they, you know, complement each other in a really good way. So in this case, for me, when you try the tortilla, which has onions, and then you try the wine amplifies the flavors of the onions. And it's like the tortilla has a lot more flavor than before. So that's what I really like about the rosé. Again, these rosés from Spain have a little bit more richness, a little bit more, you know, they're a little bit bolder, and they have more texture than a Provence style rosé. And as a result, they go well with, you know, something like tortilla de patatas.
So we've got a couple of questions.
I am going to interrupt you for just a second. So what I'm doing here is, like, as I see some of the potatoes turning really kind of golden, well, you can't see that very well. Let me see. Turn it this way. Which way do I turn it? If they're like turning kind of brown, I'm going to drop them directly hot into the eggs. And I'm gonna make some space for that so we can put the eggs right here. And actually the onions I'm gonna do the same thing. The onions are nice and soft. They're starting to gather. You did a good job. They're starting to get a little bit of color on them, and I'm just gonna toss them in hot, straight to the eggs.
What's the advantage of doing it that way? Why hot?
Well, I mean, so basically, it's gonna start to temper your eggs, even cook them a little bit, like as you add the stuff hot, and you want that. That's okay. I've got more potatoes that I'm taking out. I really want my potatoes to get a fair amount of color. I love what that does in a tortilla. That is the key. I don't know if you can see this, but it's
yeah, you can see it. Yeah.
it's pretty brown. It's hard to see, but the color on my screen doesn't look nearly as brown as it actually is. But it looks like a potato chip.
Yep.
You're making homemade potato chips and then throwing them in eggs. And then the eggs, what's gonna happen? So I'm just gonna keep doing that in batches, and that way we can let Patrick continue to talk about wine. I'm gonna keep doing that in batches and adding them hot to the eggs. As I add the potatoes to the eggs, I'm gonna sprinkle them with some salt and just go that way.
I can't resist myself. So now that Katie say that, you can also go to your pantry, find a potato chip back from Spain. You can find a Cúrate, you know what I mean? Open it up and throw it right there. And that's it. You avoid all that going on right there. That would be another thing to do, right?
He's coming up with a way to like cut my job, you know, like just like you're fired. We don't need you anymore. You're redundant.
But let's keep drinking, man. Let's keep drinking.
That's how Jose Andres, no, makes the tortilla de patatas.
Yes,
Sometimes, no?
yes.
It is not quite the same. I mean, I do have to say it's a great hack, and it works well, but not quite the same.
It's not as soft, right? Because the patatas, no, are totally fried and crunchy, and they don't absorb so much, no, the eggs.
That is exactly correct.
They're gonna get soft as soon as they mix with the eggs and everything else. You know, they're gonna sit there for a minute, so it will soft. But it's true. So now I'm drinking the white wine. You know, and it comes to my mind. You know, and again, I didn't taste the tortilla yet, but things that Patrick was mentioning, you know what I mean, the saltiness, you know what I mean, the refreshing, the minerality that this wine brings to the table, you know, I think also is gonna go very well with the tortilla. So it's again, you know, the three wines that he picked, I think that they're very good contenders, you know, like anyone can win, you know, but I still think in the rosé, it can be, you know, like but the white, Patrick, you know, I mean, I think, you know, you were right. We're back and forth with some of the wines that we were bringing to the table, and I was thinking, Albariño, are you sure? But I think, it will work.
Well, we know that you're from Catalonia and you wanted a garnacha or, you know, a white grenache, you know.
White grenache.
Something Catalan, you know, and I agree with you, garnacha, white garnacha with tortilla, it's a winner because of the creaminess, and it's a good pairing. Unfortunately, we didn't have a garnacha available in most of the states in the US, so we had to choose something different, but the Albariño I really like because of the saltiness, and every wine complements, you know, a different element of the tortilla. To me, the Albariño, it's zesty, bright, fresh, and it has that saltiness, right? Because it's so close to the Atlantic Ocean.
Exactly.
Some of the salt in the environment goes to the skin of the grape, and when you crush the grapes to make the wine, some of that salt goes into the wine, and as a result, you amplify the flavors of the tortilla. Salt amplifies flavor. So if you have salt in your wine and you blend that with food, then your food is going to have more flavor as a result. So I love the Albariño because the salt amplifies the flavors of the tortilla, but also the acidity, it's very high. It's very citrusy in a way, and that acidity resets your palate, cleans your palate. And in a way, you know, you have tortilla, you have a little bit of this zesty, you know, Albariño, and then your palate is totally clean, is totally reset, and then you want to have more tortilla, no? So that's what I like about the Albariño.
Okay, I want to talk a little bit back to tortilla making.
You use the same pan?
I'm gonna go there. Hold on, 1 minute. Yes. So I had this other batch, so I didn't have to like fry all of the potatoes live here because that would take a little bit of time. I made this batch earlier. I like to make this even like a day ahead of time if you want. So the eggs like and the potatoes like really soak together if you let it sit just a couple hours earlier. You don't have to though. It's also great. I mean, honestly, I usually just finish making it immediately, but it's really good.
And you're restaurant thinking too.
I am, yeah. For restaurants, we have these like batches of things and then we just cook them off, you know? So it's great. Of the potato, this is the potato, eggs, and onion and salt that's in here. I have the same pan that I cooked the onions in, and I just put, a tablespoon or so of oil in there, turned on my burner to like medium, high. Okay, and now we are going to make sure that oil is hot. I think that's good. And now we're gonna add the entire egg, onion, and potato mixture to the pan.
There was a question if you would let it come to room temp before, if you made it a day ahead, if you would just let it come up to room temperature before cooking.
Yeah, I probably would.
Cool.
Yes, I definitely would.
Look at that.
But you can see like the color of the eggs. That's because of that. It's kind of deeper orange. That has to do with the browning of the potatoes. Turns that color. Spread it out.
And being more together. You know what I mean? Like so, this is the difference. Like with the one that she made before, and this is the one that she was making now. So the difference in the color is how they blend together.
Yes, yes, exactly. That's right.
So much.
Yeah, great. Now we're gonna cook this on this side for a few minutes, just until it's nice and brown on the underside. When I'm cooking my tortilla, I like to swirl it around a little bit in the pan, make sure it's not sticking. When I flip it over, that'll also help with the shape if you kind of like twirl it a little bit. So,
don't flip it, eh?
Don't flip it yet.
Not yet.
So we have a couple comments, a couple questions. Someone said they're noshing on some chorizo in addition to this, which I know is something I have on the side often, which will be great when we talk about the red wine, which we'll do in just a second. Do you ever put a sauce on top of your tortilla or any other garnish?
You can. You always can. You can add mayo. Mayonnaise will be the one. You're in Catalonia, will be alioli. But yeah, you can do romesco. You can even do the brava sauce. To have a little bit of that paprika, spicy. Like a touch. But we like it how it is. Maybe with a side of tomato bread. That will be even better. A side of tomato bread with it.
Pan tumaca.
Yeah, pan tumaca.
We're gonna do a session on that in a few months. Well, I did bring it up because I know that Cúrate is now shipping nationally some of your sauces and things. So if you want to try it out, you can. You're gonna see an email from us after the session's over with a nice discount code too, if you guys want to order those sauces to try with your next batch of tortilla. I know I like some on mine on occasion. So what we want to do
you sign up.
Yeah.
If you sign up after the Zoom, you get 10% off, right?
Yes, that's right. So everyone who's here, you'll see that email come up a little bit after the end of the session.
So now that I have the red wine and I'm seeing the pan, and I see that that calls for comfort, and that's what this guy is bringing right now. I think that the red wine is bringing that comfort that you see in the pan. Like everything is trying to match together. You can smell, the egg, the onion, the potato, like blending. And like I said before, that's why this one is gonna be another winner, because I can see, like going very well with the creaminess of that tortilla, because that's another thing that Kelly didn't talk about. We like our tortillas to be runny.
Yes.
So I think that's a good one for this one.
I'm a runny egg person, and actually I have a trick to tell you about that. Since I like my eggs runny, it can make it harder to flip because it just means that you're gonna wanna flip it sooner. And I have a little trick to that. So Mine is definitely brown on the bottom. So I'm taking it off the heat and I put my broiler on. I'm not gonna finish it here. It's only, don't, get too, I don't know, excited about this. I'm only gonna put it in for about 30 seconds.
All right.
What I wanna do is just barely begin to set it on the top a little bit, not all the way. Like I don't want it to set because then it'll ruin my other side, but it'll just barely start to thicken it so I can flip it a little bit easier.
And now we're gonna change the penny. We're gonna take out tortilla is already done.
No. Keep an eye on it because the last thing you want to do is set. Okay, so I don't know if you can tell, but it's like a little bit less jiggly. I'm gonna just. You think that's good? You think I think it's good? I think it's good. I think I can do it. Yeah. Okay, it's flipping time.
At this moment, I have to leave because it kills me. Like I can't.
The moment
this is
of
too much
truth.
stress. I'm like I can't see it. I can't. I'm gonna.
I
Get
have
out
to
of it.
say that I have never flipped a tortilla and not been totally stressed out about it. One second, I need another towel.
We have
I
had a
can't
lot
handle
of
it. I
comments
can't be
in the
in
chat
I
box.
can't.
So if you are stressed with your tortilla about flipping it, it is totally normal. It's just part of the game, right? And you also don't want to burn yourself. So that's like the whole thing. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Go.
Hey, I'm back. I'm back. I'm such a
Good job,
chicken.
good job.
I'm such a
Okay.
chicken. Yeah.
Oh, it looks great.
I'm the worst.
All right, I'm gonna put a little bit more oil back in my pan, turn my burner on.
That looks good.
Looks
I
beautiful.
turned the wrong burner on. Oh no. Okay. All right, and very carefully, without burning yourself, slide it back in the pan. Whenever I slide it back in, I'm always worried I'm like ruining its shape or it's gonna look ugly.
It comes back.
It comes back. I kind of shape it around the edges with my spatula, pushing down because that'll help make sure there are no like air pockets in it. And then that little like trick I was telling you about is do this, like spin it around.
It's like swirling a glass of wine.
Yes, exactly like swirling a glass of wine.
Perfect.
Perfect. Both very necessary steps.
Salud.
We could actually like, I wonder if you could do both.
You're making a little bit. Someone's gonna fail.
Yeah, I don't want to spill the wine.
Oh, cheers.
Here,
So
guys.
here's what we want to do right now, everyone. We want to see you who are all here joining us tonight. And so we're going to take just a 2-minute little stretch to convert. So we're actually going to make you a panelist. And what this means is you're going to be able to show up on screen if you choose. If you don't want to be on camera, you don't have to be. But if you do want to join us and hang out and say hello and wave and all that good stuff, then we'd love to see your faces. And then what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the red wine. And then we will have some time to just hang out at the very end after we check in once more with Cheryl and Lisa so that we can make sure that we remember the work and hear what's coming next for SRRJ. So we're gonna start switching you right now. You're gonna see your screen blip out for just a second. Do not worry, you'll be right back. And while you do that, Katie has something to tell us.
Can I plate the tortilla?
Yes, please plate it.
Okay, it's done, and I don't want it to overcook.
Amazing.
So I'm gonna basically just take, I've got a clean plate here, my tortilla, slide it right out. Ta-da!
Beautiful.
Okay,
And all the eggs
back to
cooked.
you, Erin.
Thanks, no
amazing.
problem. All right, everyone, we're gonna
Excellent.
start switching you over, and you can keep talking in the
Let's see.
meantime.
So Felix,
Yeah,
do you have some paprika, some pimentón en casa?
of course. Are you kidding? I will not be a true Spanish if I don't have pimentón in the house.
Try the tortilla and just put a little bit of paprika in one of the
It was
one
our
of the,
good spice
and I recommend everyone to try that. If you have at home some smoked sweet paprika, go to your pantry and get a little bit of that and put it on the tortilla. If you didn't make the tortilla today, just try a little bit with your finger, and you wet your finger and try it, and then try the red wine, and you'll see how there is a lot of paprika in the wine. This is something that is not so apparent at first, but there's a beautiful smoky spice on the wine that really comes alive when you try it with the paprika.
You want me to put a little bit on it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, put a little bit.
Dad, why did you put it on?
We're muted, but we're, oh wait, we're not muted.
Oh man,
So
I can tell what you were saying. You know, like it's coming right there. It's like oh man, so beautiful. And with the heat coming from the tortilla, it's actually oh,
it's beautiful. I'm trying it right now.
So we wanna wait a minute or two because it's setting right now and still like a very juicy how we like it, and actually we like to get that color, like that people like it very light, but we like it a little bit darker, and we like it darker and we like it juicy inside.
So it's crispy on the outside and juicy, and soft on the inside.
You can't get wrong with that method.
And you did like 1 minute, 2 minutes on one side and a minute or half a minute on the other side, no?
Yeah, I did like a couple, the amount of tortilla that I had in the pan size that I had ended up being a little bit thinner. So that's why I cooked it a little bit less. I would say, depending on how thick it is, you'll want to cook it like 3 minutes and 2 on the other side. But yeah, I did it about a minute on, or 1.5 to 2 minutes on one side and then a minute on the other side.
I would love to hear from Jessica about what you think about the Rioja pairing. I know you were mentioning earlier you thought you might be good.
Yeah.
Before Jess talk to the wine, before Jess talk about the wine, somebody's asking about this. So how many do you want? We always have, Espelette in the house too.
I think the red is going with it perfectly. I still think the rosé is the winner for me in my mind. I just kind of like the way that it kind of gives you that like little bit of refreshingness. I do think this is, like Felix was saying, a little bit more rich and kind of giving you that homey feeling of the Crianza. I've actually cheated tonight and I did not make tortilla, but I did go to La Bodega and buy tortilla to eat. So I am getting to eat it as we go along. I've also got some manchego cheese from La Bodega, and the red is actually going perfectly with the manchego cheese. So that is the rosé is still my pick for the pairing.
That's great. What do people think here? How many people? What does everyone think? How many people have had the rosé with the tortilla?
The Rioja.
Is that the favorite pairing for most people?
Yes.
You can comment on the chat if you like.
We are still cooking the tortilla, but and the potatoes are still cooking, but we are enjoying the rosé immensely. Thank you.
Yeah, the rosé is great. It has that skin, that onion skin aroma, but also some berries.
It does. It does. Yeah.
Thank you, Nancy.
As pairings go, for us it's the Albariño. It's perfect, but all the wines are good, so it all works, right? But the Albariño is just a gift. Yeah, I agree. The Albariño is such a reset button, because the potatoes, the eggs, it's a heavy. It's not heavy, but it's substantial dish, And the Albariño is a good reset button.
I have to share that the first time I ever had tortilla de patatas, I was in Rioja, staying with a family in a very small town. I was 16 years old, and the mom of the family made us an entire enormous one that we took camping for a weekend, just in a Tupperware box. We didn't refrigerate it. We just carried it around and ate it for, I think, like 3 days straight. And so for me, the Crianza is a very sentimental pairing, but I'm just loving seeing how everyone is interested in the rosé, especially and the white. That's super cool. I would love
my friends at the school, they hate me because my mom used to make me like a sandwich of tortilla for for break, before lunch in school, and I always had my sandwich with the tortilla, and everybody was so jealous, so that picnic idea, yeah, that's how tortilla should be, you know what I mean? So this is like the tortilla that Katie made. You see, you can tell, you know what I mean? Like it has that top, you know what I mean? And it has the juices in the middle, it's just, that's how we like it. That's I think that's perfection. Yeah, I that's how I like the tortilla. And growing up at home, my mom make it more like a set. But as I grow up, I grow up, I like it more juicy, and this is how I like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a question. One person still has a little bit of juiciness kind of seeping out from their finished product. Is that something that you see, or do they need to cook it a little bit longer?
I would ask how much. It kind of depends on how much, if there's quite a bit, then, and also if you're okay with it being really runny, like if the juice is seeping out of the inside, you might want to cook it a little bit longer. Not much, but maybe like 30 more seconds or a minute.
Such a great tip. Well,
it would still be delicious though. I mean, I just have to say that like tortilla, no matter how you do it, like I feel like every time I make this dish, sometimes it turns out a little more set, sometimes it turns out a little more runny, like, it always tastes great.
Cold, room temp, warm, all of the above. Oh, Jessica.
All of the above.
I was just gonna say, maybe if Katie wants to hold up the whole tortilla so that they can see exactly how it's coming out of her tortilla, like the amount of.
It's a little runny because I cut it hot.
Oh, gotcha.
Like I would say we cut it like right after we took it out of the pan.
Brilliant.
So it's definitely like oozing a little bit more than normal, like if I had let it sit and not cut it like right away, it would have like set up a little bit more, but
yeah, but we wanted,
delicious.
Yeah, if we would wait like 5 more minutes, you know what I mean, it would be enough to don't get so runny. It's still running, but not that much.
No,
but we wanted to try it. We wanted to. Now I taste the wines, and I have to say that are 3 winners. I stick with the rosé. Like that was my what my gut was telling me from the beginning, and I think for me is the winner. But again, I like the 3 of them. But you have some sherry at home, you know what I mean? Don't be afraid to try it. A good oloroso, will be a good one going with this, and more if it's juicy like this one. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, Albariño is nice with it too.
You like Albariño?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I like it.
Well,
Is the rosé your favorite? Okay, is the rosé your favorite? Also with the tortilla?
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I like to pair the food from the region they come from, but also like I don't know if the weather is affecting me. We're in the springtime. What I mean, sometimes like everything interferes. With the pairing. Not only what you get here, what you get in your mouth. It's like your feeling. The weather outside. So that calls for a spring. I don't know. I think the rosé is winning tonight.
I agree.
Well, I know that both Cheryl and Lisa have culinary backgrounds and also love food. I didn't see if either of you made tortilla in advance or if you've ever made this dish. Certainly, we'd love to hear your opinion too. But
we did make it, but I'm definitely gonna make it. We're both pastry.
Oh, you muted.
Oops,
there we go.
Muted.
There you're back.
Yes, that. Maybe I've had too much rosé, but either Lisa or I have made it tonight, but I definitely want to. And you made it look so easy, Katie. I'm excited to try it.
I'm so glad. I wanted to add that, Cheryl Day and Lisa Donovan, if you guys don't know them, just do a little bit of research. They're both, besides, founders of an incredible new organization, Southern Restaurants for Racial. They're extremely accomplished authors in their own right and incredible chefs. So I'm just really honored that they took time to join us this evening for this.
Salud.
So much
Definitely
fun.
donate
Oh
some
my
more money to
Thank you.
Southern Restaurants for Racial Justice.
Thanks, guys.
So
I
much fun.
wish that I had made tortillas because I would like for you to see how much of this rosé I have all on my own.
I was
And I
gonna
have
say,
to say
after
one,
wine, the potato chip method might be the fastest one. If you've had an
yes,
wine,
yes.
it might be the best way to go.
Yeah.
Well, we just want to thank you all so much for being here. As I said earlier, you're going to see some follow-up email from us for everyone who got a ticket, just so you can keep making sure that you're following the work of Southern Restaurants for Racial Justice. And of course, there's a really nice discount code from Katie and Felix and the team at Cúrate to be able to grab some of the sauces or any other products, the charcuterie that you can get from them. They're shipping all over the US. You will also still be able to find the wines that we talked about tonight. If you didn't get them, or if you only got a couple of them, you will have the link to be able to find those no matter where you are. And if you can't, just reach out and we will help you find those. We do have this photo competition going on. I want to remind everyone, so that doesn't close until 11 o'clock tonight Eastern time. So you still have time to make a tortilla and submit if you want to be able to get a copy of this cookbook. We're going to announce the winners on Monday. We want to make sure we have enough time to judge. And so the rules are going to be in that follow-up email as well. It's such a pleasure to do our 8th experience with the people that helped us kick it off. And so we're going to hang out for another little bit, another probably 15 minutes for people who have questions and want to keep asking. And Katie and Felix, if you have more tips or plating or anything else you want to talk about and share, we're all here. But I just wanted to make sure that we said thank you especially to Cheryl Day and Lisa Donovan for the work that you're doing, for joining us tonight. And of course, thanks to the entire team at Cúrate for making this happen. We do this every month at Obrigado, so we hope you'll join us again.
We wanted to say thank you to everyone for your donation. And we just want you to know that you really are making a difference in these Black restaurants' lives and keeping their stories alive. And we really appreciate all of you. And this is so much fun.
And I want to say one more thing. Like you probably can tell, this chemic, this between Patrick and us and Ole and Obrigado. So we become, we build this relationship because we are in the same business. We like their wines and we work together, but we are also friends. And the reason that we are also friends is because opportunities like this, we've been collaborating, since day one in so many things. Patrick come to the restaurant if he have to. We do dinners with our guests. He's been educating our staff, but then he allow us to be part of this platform, so we can bring awareness, and bring community. And this is what we're looking forward to. We like partners, that we do some business together, but it's something else behind, and this is what we bring to the table. And thank you, Patrick and Ole, for thinking of us, and give us the opportunity to showcase, and not only this technique, but the people that we're working with here in Nashville and where our, focus is.
Well, it's very easy to support the work you do, Felix and Katie. You guys are incredibly talented. It's beautiful to see people like you bringing the authentic flavors of Spain and the cooking of Spain to the US. It's great to see you guys, and we're honored to be able to put a voice to the work that you're doing. For those of you who do not have the cooking book that Katie put together, I highly recommend that you buy this book. You can email us and we can send you the link. You can also go to the Cúrate website and you can find how to buy this book. You can have great recipes there, from patatas bravas to tortilla de patatas to so many other authentic dishes that are, easy to make, but no one knows where to get a good recipe. And Katie is such a talented, chef, and so accessible that, and her book is the same way, so easy to read, so fun. And Katie and Felix also have now They do trips to Spain and Portugal. If you haven't seen the trips that they organize, I highly recommend that you go to their website and you see the itineraries. All of us now want to travel. We're almost at the end of this pandemic, and these trips are so successful that most of them are fully booked already for 2022, but they have already, I think they're working on 2023 now. So I recommend you check out what they're doing, because they're the real deal. So it's for us, it's great to be able to do things with you, Katie and Felix. Congratulations.
Oh yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Patrick.
It's our pleasure.
Yeah, we would love to keep doing, things like this, and we have so many dishes, that we can make it more like a simple for you to cook at home, and with these beautiful wines, it's so easy. So yeah.
You make it very enjoyable. So thank you.
Cheers to everybody that is watching us and following us and participating and making all this happen, because it's all you that are making this happen. Actually, we are just the hands here and there, but if it wasn't for you all, that this will not be possible.
Well, take a well-deserved break and eat that tortilla. We're gonna put it back in gallery view now so we can see everyone at once and wave and say hi. I'm gonna also share the poll results. I'm not surprised to see that we have an almost dead heat between gooey with onions and set with onions. So I'm just gonna share that real quick so everybody can see. 40% to 43%. So maybe you'll change some minds. People try your methodology for gooey, because it looks really good from what I can see on the screen.
My go-to on eggs is gooey all the time. So
awesome. Well, we're so glad to see all of you again, and we're certainly open if you want to put more questions in the chat or ask a question or show us. I want to see people's dishes if they made some at home. I will show mine. I made some this morning. I did my potatoes first thing, and then as you can see, I'm a set, so I can have a sandwich with mine tomorrow.
Good.
I'd love to see yours. I see some good ones. Donna, anyone else? Lucinda, yours looks great. Wow, that's quite tall. Pretty. Like some people are still cooking their potatoes.
It might have been a 9-inch pan. I'm not sure. But
lots of tortillas.
Yes.
But the thing is, Katie, when I flip it, is there?
Come on, Joel. What is yours?
Somebody's asking a question.
When I flip it, is there a way that I can press on top and see when it's done? Every one I've always made, and I don't like them dry. When I was in Spain, you'd have one that was dry and then one that was loose. And it's not that I want to eat raw egg, but I do want the custardy texture kind of thing. So when you flip it, is there a way of pressing down to find out if?
Yes, you can touch it, and you definitely want to remove it while it still has some give to it. It's a little bit like meat, but softer, when it's a little bit softer when it's done.
Like medium rare or rare meat?
Rare. You're probably looking for rare when you're touching it to have it turn out, custardy on the inside. And not raw, so it shouldn't be like juicy, like liquidy inside, but rare where it's a little bit squishy.
And I do want to tell you that the last demo, I can't tell you how many times I've made mayonnaise with the sherry and I sort of combined your cookbook with what you did in the class and did the sherry and the garlic and used Dusseldorf mustard and I am telling you, why did I ever buy mayonnaise? I don't understand. Mm-hmm. So you changed my life on that one. It was
great. Thank you. You know what you should try next time? Throw 2 anchovies in it. Yes. Oh my gosh, it won't taste like anchovy, but it'll make the whole thing just that like umami, I don't know why this tastes so good kind of feeling. So try that out. See if you like it.
I've got anchovy paste, just about a
Oh,
quarter
perfect.
quarter
Yeah, put like a
teaspoon.
teaspoon in.
Okay, be brave. I can do that. Thank you.
Go for it.
Really have enjoyed the last 2 classes. They've been wonderful.
Thank
Learned
you.
so much.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say, for those of you who are really enjoying the Zestos Rosado, the rosé, you can it's a great value. It's about $12 a bottle, and on our website you can find different retailers that sell this rosé. And for those of you that want to get more bottles in your house for the summer, that's an easy way to find them. You can go to our website and you can find by putting your zip code which retailers have it close to your area.
Okay.
So one of the 2 things, or the tortilla turned out great, or we were very hungry because we have the tortilla already, Katie.
Yes, we did.
I wanted to get a chance to say to Patrick that I want to thank Ole and Obrigado for doing all these kind of things this summer. Ben Carson got a lot of us in Tampa Bay through the summer with a tour of Spain and Portugal through wine that was spectacular. And we look forward to getting to Spain to actually taste the wine there some more. We have been to Catalonia to visit family, but we want to see more of the country. But you guys have done a great job with these this summer and this year, and I want to thank you for that. And then also say you have to try the red wine with some dark chocolate covered strawberries.
I like that. I'm gonna try that. Thank you so much for the tip. We should do a pairing episode, chocolate and wine. That will be a fun one.
You will have a lot of fans. Yeah.
That will be a fun.
We have a couple good ones coming up, right? We've got next month, we're going to be talking about gazpacho and a really special crispy seafood dish that's a marinated seafood dish that's popular in the south of Spain. And we're also going to be talking about paella in June. And in July, we're going to be doing gambas al ajillo with pan de cristal, or pan con tomaca, which is what Felix was saying is a nice side to this. So we've got some fun ones coming up, and we're just so happy that all of you like to talk about food and wine, because that's what we like to talk about most. So we hope to see some of you again there, and I'm sure we'll do another session with Katie and Felix and the team at Cúrate very soon. We just want to say
somebody's around the corner. Gazpacho is asking for manzanilla.
Agreed. Let's talk about why too. That's what we love. We love that conversation. Thank you so much, Felix. Well, everyone, thank you all so much. If you have any last questions, now's the time. We're getting so many comments about the pairings and how much everybody's learned tonight. So thank you again for guiding us on how to make this dish. I'm ready to go for round 3 and eat mine here. So good to see all of you, and thanks to all of you for being here. You'll see that follow-up email from us, or you can keep in touch. We hope to see you again soon. Have a great night, everybody.
This is great. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
Thank
Jess.
you, everyone. Bye,
Thanks,
everyone.
Lisa. Thank you, Cheryl.
Buenas noches. Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Buen apetito. Buen apetito.
Buen provecho.
Buen
Thanks,
provecho.
Jeffrey.
Buen provecho también. Adiós.
Goodbye, everyone.
Muchas gracias.
De nada. Gracias.